We must hide, quickly.
Why? What is it?
The Syrians, they're raiding our village. They've already entered the outskirts and we have no time to flee. We'll have to try to hide here in our house.
Daddy, I'm afraid. What if they find us?
They'll probably take us captive and make slaves of us. Shh! We must be quiet.
Open up in there! Open up or I'll break the door down! All right, men! Bring the battering ram! What's the store in? Well, they must be hiding. I know someone's here. I saw him run in. Start searching, men. Here they are, hiding under the bed.
Uncle Dan, it sounds like your story is going to be an exciting one.
Oh, it is, Aunt Sue, and it's taken from Holy Scripture, the great book of human drama. If you would like to read the story as recorded in the Old Testament, turn to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 5. I call the story
Captive Maid.
Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, had defeated the armies of Israel in the battle which resulted in the death of the wicked King Ahab. Since that time, however, the Syrians had maintained against Israel a constant border warfare, so that even though there was comparative peace in the land, the people of Israel were continually troubled by the border raids. In one of the border villages was a God-fearing family who were faithful in training their daughter to love, trust, and obey the God of heaven. One day, as the father returned home from the village gathering place, he had many things to tell his family.
Hello there. And how's my family tonight? Smells like fresh barley loaves.
Yes, and supper's all ready as soon as you wash your hands.
All right.
Daddy, did Mother tell you what we did today?
No. Something special?
I think so. Mother taught me how to make barley loaves. We'll try them for supper.
Oh, well, do you think we'll be able to eat them?
Oh, Daddy, come on. Let's try them.
As the mother, father, and young daughter ate their supper, conversation naturally turned to the news of the day's activities.
Did you learn any news while you were at the city gate? I can tell by the look on your face that you have something you're anxious to tell.
Ah, my dear, you are observing. While sitting with the other men at the gate, I learned that one of the other border villages was raided again last night by the Syrians.
But I thought we were supposed to be at peace with Syria.
Well, we are. These marauders don't seem to be actually sent out by the king. They're just light-armed bands that come to plunder our goods and take captives before anyone can pursue them.
Why doesn't the Syrian king stop them? It seems if they keep up these raids, the Israelites might invade.
Well, the Syrian king knows better than that. The Israelite army is not strong enough right now to invade anybody. Besides, the marauders are making a fairly good business out of selling the captives as slaves.
If only more of the Israelites were true and faithful to the God of heaven, and our king a God-fearing king, we might not have this trouble. God would give us the strength to fight off the oppressors as he has done in the past.
True. But it may be that God has another plan in mind also. Think of the tremendous witness it would be for the God of heaven if all the Israelite captives would remain true to their faith while in the captivity of the Syrians.
That is something to think about. Oh, but I can't help wondering when our village will be next.
There's no use worrying about it. The attacks are sudden and unexpected, and there's nothing we can do. But we must remember that if an attack does come, and we are taken captive by the Syrians, that our God in heaven will watch over us and care for us. We must never let our faith in God falter.
Mother, why don't you tell Daddy our news?
Oh, certainly. Our neighbor down the road came to visit today.
Oh, that's news. She comes every day or so, doesn't she?
It's what she told us that's news.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, remember hearing about the man and woman of Shunem that built a room for Prophet Elijah to stay in?
Yes.
and then a baby boy was born to them a year later, even though they'd given up hope of ever having children.
Yes, it was a miracle, they said.
Well, a few days ago, that little boy became very ill while out in the fields with his father, and a few hours later he died.
Oh, how terrible.
But that's not the end of it. The mother hurried off to find Prophet Elisha, and he came to the house. He prayed unto the Lord and brought the boy back to life.
Brought him back to life? Oh, surely there must be some mistake. No one can raise people from the dead.
The boy was most certainly dead, and the prophet Elijah, through the power of God, brought him back to life.
Prophet Elisha certainly is a man of God. I don't see how anyone can doubt it after a miracle like that.
Isn't it wonderful to know that God is with those who trust in him?
Day by day, these God-fearing parents taught their daughter to trust and obey God in heaven. They told her the stories of Adam and Eve, Moses, Samuel, David, and others. They prayed with her and worshipped with her. They did not know the destiny that would be hers, but they were faithfully preparing her for whatever destiny might be. Then, one night, the dreaded Syrians did come to their village. The little girl and her family were captured by the marauders and taken back to Syria, where she was sold as a slave to Captain Naaman to be a maidservant for his wife. Now Captain Naaman was a commander of the host of the king of Syria and worshipped the gods of Syria. But the little maid, even though afraid, homesick, and lonely in a strange house with strange people, still prayed to the God of heaven.
Dear God in heaven, be with me here in this strange land. Help me to serve thee and witness for thee. Be with my mother and father, wherever they are. Help them not to worry about me.
Crying softly, she lay on her bed, thinking of the events that had brought her to this place. Then she heard her new mistress, Lady Naaman, quietly enter the room.
Little maid, I'd like to talk with you a few minutes.
Yes, mistress. I'll arise and dress.
No, you just stay on your bed. We can talk right here. I was passing by your room and I heard you crying. I thought maybe you were lonely. After all, you are rather young to be taken away from your parents and taken to a strange land.
Everything is so different.
Of course it is. But you will learn. Don't be afraid. Captain Naaman and I will be kind to you, and you'll be treated with consideration.
I'll do my best for you, mistress, and I'm sure I'll learn to like it here. My God will be with me and help me.
Your God? Oh, who is your God?
I worship the God in heaven, who hears and answers my prayers. He is the creator of the universe.
Oh, I see. Well, you must tell me about your God sometime and about your home and country. But now I think it's time for you to get some rest. There'll be things for you to do tomorrow.
Yes, mistress. I think I can go to sleep now. I feel a lot better than I did before you stopped in.
Good night, little maid. Sleep well.
Good night.
Little Maid learned easily and performed her duties faithfully. Through the kindness of Lady Naaman and the faithfulness of Little Maid, the two, mistress and maid, became good friends, often talking together like mother and daughter. Lady Naaman often invited her little maid to join in the family activities. One day...
Here's your lunch, mistress. Is there anything else I can get for you?
No, thank you. This is fine. Did you bring your lunch in here to eat with me like I asked?
Yes, mistress.
Good. My lunch always seems to taste better when I have someone to eat with. Captain Naaman and I will be going to the altar of our God tonight to worship. Wouldn't you like to come with us? You're so far away from home and the temples of your God, but you can worship with us.
Thank you, mistress, but I cannot do that.
Why not? If you have work here to do, just leave it until tomorrow.
Oh, it's not that. You see, I worship only the God in heaven, the creator of the universe. He hears and answers my prayers. He cares for me. I can't pray to an image that can't see or hear.
I see. Very interesting.
The God in heaven will care for all those who trust and believe in him, just as he's cared for his faithful followers all through the years. When the children of Israel were captives in the land of Egypt, God delivered them. He chose Moses to be their leader. And when they got to the Red Sea, they had a problem. The Egyptian army was following them, and they had no way to get across the sea. But when Moses touched the water with his rod, God made the waters divide.
Faithfully, little Maid witnessed to her mistress, often telling her the stories of how the God in heaven had cared for Israel in years gone by. But many times little Maid thought her mistress not happy, for there was a sad look on her face. Then one morning, as little Maid carried the breakfast tray to her, Lady Naaman was crying.
Is it you, little Maid?
Yes, mistress, I have your breakfast.
Come in.
Here you are, mistress. I put some fresh grapes on the tray this morning. I hope you like them. Why, mistress, you're crying. Is something wrong?
It's my husband. He has leprosy.
Leprosy? Captain Naaman has leprosy?
Yes, and there's no cure.
It must be just in the early stages.
Yes. Right now there are just some spots, but before long it'll eat away his fingers and toes and face, and finally he'll die.
Surely there's something.
There's nothing that can be done. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, mistress, if only my Lord was with the prophet that is in Samaria. He would cure him of his leprosy.
Sweet child, what makes you say that? You know that no one can cure leprosy.
Prophet Elisha can. He has the power of God in heaven. Why, not long ago he even raised a dead boy to life.
Oh, impossible.
It's true, mistress. The boy was quite dead, and Elisha brought him back to life. I'm sure he would heal Captain Naaman.
And when the words of the little maid were repeated to Captain Naaman, he was impressed, and he carried her testimony to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria.
That is what the maiden from the land of Israel said. According to her, this prophet Elisha can cure me of my horrible affliction.
Captain Naaman, as commander of my army, you have won many victories for Syria. You are a mighty man of valor. I highly respect your judgment. You have my permission to seek healing from the Israelite. Go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel in your behalf.
Thank you, your majesty. I will prepare for my journey. The blessing of the gods of Syria be upon you.
Having obtained permission from the king, Naaman went forth to seek healing, taking with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 shekels of gold and 10 changes of festal garments. He also carried with him the letter from Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, to the king of Israel. The arrival of Naaman at the court of the Israelite king caused a great deal of excitement.
Your Majesty, something must be done about these border raids by the Syrians. Too many of our people are being taken captive.
Yes, I agree, but what can we do? Our army is not strong enough to attack.
Long live the king, long live the king.
Yes, what is it?
Naaman, captain of the army of the Syrian king, requests audience with your Majesty Joram, king of Israel.
Captain Naaman from Syria? Whatever can he desire of me? We have done nothing against them.
He's brought a letter with him, your Majesty, from the king of Syria.
Bring me the letter. That will perhaps give a little time for a conference with my advisors before granting audience.
I have the letter here, your Majesty.
Greetings to Joram, king of Israel, from Ben-Hadad, king of Syria. When this letter reaches you, know that I have sent to you Naaman my servant, that you may cure him of his leprosy. Leprosy? How can the king of Syria expect such a thing? I cannot cure leprosy. No one can. Send Naaman away. Send him away!
But, Your Majesty, he will be insulted if we just send him away.
Yes. We must think of something.
Your Majesty might be interested to know that Naaman has brought with him sizable gifts to pay for his cure. He has with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 shekels of gold and 10 changes of festal garments. That would be a handsome sum to add to the royal treasury.
Yes, perhaps we could find someone in the kingdom that could cure him, or at least pretend to cure him, and then we could keep all that money. No, it won't work. No one can cure leprosy. Send him away. Tell him I'm busy with other things. Something, just get rid of him.
But, Your Majesty, we hardly dare ignore the request of the king of Syria. They're giving us enough trouble already.
What does he think I am? Am I God?
Thinking only of himself and the predicament he was in, the idolatrous King Joram tore his clothes and cried,
Am I God, to kill and to make alive, that this man sends word to me to cure a man of his leprosy? See how he seeketh a quarrel against me. If I don't heal this Naaman, the king of Syria will use it as an excuse to make war against us.
That's right. An excuse to make war. They're trying to make trouble.
Soon the story of King Joram's predicament reached the prophet Elisha. Elisha could have left the idolatrous king to find his own way out. But seeing an opportunity to bring glory to God in a foreign land, he sent a message to the king.
Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
So Naaman went with his horses and with his chariot to the house of Elisha, where the prophet sent a messenger out to instruct Naaman.
Is that the prophet coming to me?
I don't know. We'll soon find out. Whoa there!
Art thou Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria?
I am.
The prophet Elisha sends you this message. Go and wash in the river Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean.
That's all the prophet said?
That is the message. I must not depart.
It's an insult. An insult to me and to the king of Syria. Why, the prophet himself didn't even come out, but sent a lowly messenger. Outrageous.
Well, perhaps the prophet had other important duties to perform.
And then he said to me, wash in the Jordan, that filthy stream. How can that heal anybody of anything, let alone leprosy?
Well, what did you expect, Master?
Well, I don't know. I thought there would be some wonderful manifestation of power from heaven. I expected the prophet would come out to me and call on the name of the Lord his God, and strike his hand over the place, and recover the leper.
And you are angry because the prophet did not do as you thought he would.
But wash in the Jordan River. It's dirty. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? Come, let's get away from here.
Get up there. Move.
That prophet is probably just planning a joke on me because I'm a foreign general. I'll show him a thing or two.
The proud spirit of Naaman rebelled against following the course outlined by Elisha. He was angry because no great fuss had been made over him. His national pride had been hurt by the command to wash in the dirty Jordan River rather than the beautiful rivers of Damascus. Naaman's servants, however, entreated him to carry out Elisha's directions.
Master, I realize that the prophet's instructions are contrary to what you thought would happen, but, Master, if the prophet had asked you to do some great thing, wouldn't you have done it?
Well, I suppose so.
Well, then why not obey when the prophet tells you to wash and be clean?
Who can wash and be clean in that filthy Jordan?
Well, if you don't obey the prophet, well, what chance have you of being healed?
None.
Well, then why not obey?
All right. Turn the horses down towards the river.
The faith of Naaman was being tested, while pride struggled for the mastery. But faith conquered, and the haughty Syrian yielded his pride of heart and bowed in submission to the revealed will of Jehovah. Arriving at the Jordan, he got out of his chariot and waded in, while his servants watched to see what would happen. Then he dipped under the water. As he came up, all looked at the spots of leprosy. They were still there. A second time he dipped under. Still nothing happened. The third time, fourth, fifth, and sixth time, the horrible spots were still there. Breathless, the servants watched as Naaman once more dipped under the water.
Look! Look! They're gone! The spots are gone!
Leprosy is gone! You're healed! Master, you're healed! Whoa! Whoa there!
Thou art Elisha, prophet of the living God?
I am.
I heard of God through the testimony the Hebrew maid in our household. But now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. For there I have been healed of my affliction. So now accept a gift from me, your servant. In gratitude I bestow upon you the 10 talents of silver, the 6,000 shekels of gold, and the 10 changes of festal garments that I have brought with me.
But Elisha could not accept payment for something that God, not he, had done. He wanted to show this mighty Syrian that the God of Israel was free to all nations, without money and without price.
As the Lord lives whom I serve, I will receive none. Go in peace.
And despite Naaman's urging, Elisha steadfastly refused any payment. Instead, he encouraged the Syrian to worship the true God, the God of creation. But Gehazi, Elisha's servant, was dismayed at his master's refusal.
Well, if that doesn't beat all, here we are desperately poor, barely supported by our own countrymen, and he refuses even a portion of Naaman's offer. He completely spared him. If there ever was anyone who could afford to pay for my master's services, it was this Syrian Naaman. As the Lord lives, I'll run after him and get something from him.
Master, why is it the prophet would accept no payment? It certainly would be customary to require payment, but he would accept nothing.
I know. It is hard to understand. Perhaps the God he serves is truly different from any other.
Master, look! Someone is running after us. Is it not Elisha's servant?
Yes, I believe it is. Stop the chariot so I can get out.
Whoa! Whoa there!
Is all well?
All is well. My master sent me to say, there have just now come to me from the hill country of Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Pray give them a talent of silver and 2 festal garments.
Why, gladly. In fact, why not take 2 talents of silver?
Well, I don't know.
It's my pleasure. Here. And the garments. Let me get them for you. In fact, I'll send 2 of my servants to help you carry the load.
Oh, that would not be necessary, sir.
Oh, think nothing of it. Gladly will I do this, and more.
But as they approached the city gate, Gehazi stopped and said,
This is far enough. I can take it from here. Please return to Captain Naaman.
And Gehazi took the silver and the garments and hid them near the wall of the city. Then Gehazi went in before Elisha.
Where have you been, Gehazi?
Who, me? Your servant went nowhere.
Gehazi, did I not go with you in spirit when the man turned from his chariot to meet you?
What?
Was it a time to accept money and garments?
But we are so poor.
Did not my example show thee that there was a noble reason in refusing the Syrian's gifts, and in showing him that the servants of Jehovah do his bidding with no thought of monetary reward? Therefore, the leprosy of Naaman shall cleave to you and to your descendants forever.
So Gehazi went out from Elisha's presence a leper, as white as snow. But what of Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army, who had been healed of his leprosy by Elisha's God. Would he now return to his heathen gods of wood and stone? Oh, no. You see, Captain Naaman was not only healed in body, but converted in spirit. So changed, so thankful, and so happy was he, that upon returning to his home, he erected an altar, a place of worship to the living God. But perhaps even more thankful, and happier than even Captain Naaman, was the little maid whose faith in the God of heaven had made her master well again.
Ranger Bill, warrior of the woodland, struggling against extreme odds, traveling dangerous trails, fighting the many enemies of nature. This is the job of the guardian of the forest, Ranger Bill. Pouring rain, freezing cold, blistering heat, snow, floods, bears, rattlesnakes, mountain lions. Yes, all this in exchange for the satisfaction and pride of a job well done.
The story I'm going to tell you today is primarily directed to the young men listening in. You know, fellas, these days it seems that your standing in the club or gang is gauged by how strongly obnoxious you can be to those senior and junior to you. We didn't have a youth problem in Knotty Pine for many years until a newcomer moved into our midst. His name is Jim Phelps. He had the nickname of Muscles, and he came from Central City to live with his aunt and uncle. Why? Because he was in so much hot water in Central City, his parents thought a change was the best idea to solve the problem. And they were right. Only the solution didn't come as easy as they thought it would. How about calling this story The Measure of a Man?
Hey, man, we sure got this town jumping since you came, Muscles.
What'd I tell you, man? Yeah, we got them so scared they back off the sidewalk when we go by. You gotta be tough in this game, boy. You know, real tough.
Yeah, Muscles, you're right. It's like you say, you gotta be real tough.
You catch on fast, Spoon.
Oh, man. Ring-a-ding-a-ding-ding-ding. Look what's coming.
You got good eyes, Mick, but not as good as mine.
Oh, yeah? Why not?
I've had mine on her a long time. Say, there's a real living doll.
All right. She's not for us, though.
Yeah? Why not?
It's Henry Scott's girl. Henry Scott.
You don't say. What am I supposed to do, drop dead? Hey, here she comes. Shh.
Would you mind stepping aside so I can pass by, Muscles?
Yeah, I mind. Say, when are you and I gonna have a date, huh?
Never.
Yeah? Why not?
Isn't that obvious?
Leave her alone, Mus. Leave her alone.
I ain't gonna hurt her. Come here. Oh, catch her, Mick.
You catch her, Speedo. She's halfway down the block. Kicked off her high heels and cut right out.
Pick up her shoes. She'll have to come and get them. From me.
Yeah, but what if she brings along Scott and his pal, Bill Jefferson?
That creep. You don't scare me. You gotta be tough, see? Real tough.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you make out in the exams, Mus?
No good, Spoon. I ain't got time for that garbage.
Yeah. Hey, how are you gonna graduate?
I will. Just wait and see.
Hey, man. Principal wants to see you.
Let him come and see me. I ain't got time to go see him.
Oh, man, you better go.
All right, all right.
I didn't tell you to sit down, Muscles.
I'm tired.
Stand up.
All right. What do you want?
Muscles, you're not graduating this year.
What?
Are you deaf?
Listen, Connors.
You better graduate me or else.
Or else what, Mr. Tough Guy?
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Don't you threaten me, young man. I've handled tougher punks than you and made men out of them.
There ain't nobody tougher than me, see? Nobody.
Please, Henry, please.
Don't argue, Mary Lou. I'm gonna get your shoes from Muscles.
No, please. If you ever like me a little bit, I can get another pair. I have lots at home. I don't really need them.
Look, he insulted you and he's going to apologize. Now, please don't argue. My mind's made up.
Oh, you stubborn men make me sick. You're going to get your brains beat out over me and a pair of shoes. He tried to insult me, but he didn't get that far. Please.
Mary Lou, it's a matter of honor. Why, that punk pushes everybody around, but this is one time he isn't going to get away with it. I can take him.
Alone, yes. But he won't be alone. And you know he's a dirty fighter.
Sure. I know that. And I'll bring your shoes over this evening.
Mary Lou, what's wrong?
Henry's gone to Muscle's house to get my shoes.
Alone?
Yes. Do something, Bill, please. They'll beat him to a pulp.
Come on, we'll jump in the car and get over there.
Not the boots, Mus. Don't kick him. Don't kick him.
I'll show this Sunday school boy what it means to be tough. You want shoes? You'll get them.
Oh. Hey, you can't do that to Muscles. Hey, man, it's the cops. Come on, let's cut out. Let's go.
Bill, he's badly hurt. Henry, speak to me.
Huh? What for?
Open the car door, Mary Lou. I'll help Henry in. We'll get him to the hospital.
How do you feel, Henry?
Oh, miserable all over. But I got the shoes, though.
Yes, but I can't wear them. They're wrecked, and so are you. It wasn't worth it. Not at all.
Oh, I don't know. I gave a pretty good account of myself.
Yes, you did, pal. Muscles is here in the hospital getting his head sewed back together for that judo foot throw you gave him, and the other two look like they'd run into a truck. But Mary Lou's right. It wasn't worth it.
Huh? What do you mean? Muscles insulted a girl. What's more, she happens to be my best friend. Don't tell me a fella shouldn't fight to defend his girl.
I'm sorry you misunderstood, pal. I didn't make myself clear. Street fighting toughs like Muscle, Spoon, and Mickey isn't going to change them.
I didn't expect it to. But at least they know I'm not afraid of them. And if, well, I could take them on one at a time, they know now they'd get a beating. A beating of their lives.
Yeah, and what would that do as far as they're concerned?
Huh? What do you mean?
They'd only get revenge, Henry. Don't you see that?
I never thought of that. I guess you're right. I could never get one of them alone anyhow.
Well, hero boy, at last you're beginning to see the light of day. 2 broken ribs, 19 bad bruises, and a couple of lacerations later.
Plus a fat eye and a thick lip.
I suppose I look a real mess, huh?
I'll say you do. An awful mess. But I still think you're a wonderful guy. Thank you for fighting for me. But please don't do it again.
Okay, Mary Lou. Hey, Bill, when can I get out of this body and fender shop?
Anytime you feel you're up to it, pal.
Okay, maybe in a couple of hours. Well, right now, this bed feels so good to me aching bones, as Stumpy would say.
Hold it, Connors.
What is this?
Grab him, you guys. Drag him in the bushes.
Hey, somebody's coming.
Listen, Connors, you better graduate me or else. Here, let's go, you mugs. Let's go. How are you this morning, David?
Oh, better, Judge. Thank you.
We're glad to hear that, David. Very glad.
I'll say. I still say that you ought to have the judge sign a general complaint warrant and let me pick up those 3 birds. I'd have plucked their tail feathers before they knew what hit them. Maybe a little working over with a rubber hose would teach them something.
Cal, you shock me. Does the Pine County Sheriff use rubber hose on prisoners?
You know better than that. I've never used violence on a prisoner in my life. Maybe to take them, but not after I locked them up. But in this case, this punk Muscles needs a lesson. A hard one lumped on his head.
Gentlemen, please sit down. Gentlemen, the solution to this problem at hand is not through the strong arm of the law.
I don't know about that. Maybe we've been too soft with a strong arm of the law.
Cal, hold your tongue. And let the man have his say.
Go ahead. You're closest to the problem.
I've been a teacher and a principal for many years. I've never run across a tough kid like Muscles that is not quite so tough. Well, he's been close to it. I've handled them all without too much difficulty and, well, made good citizens out of them in the long run.
Yes, you have, David. I've been circuit judge for many years, and I know of your good work.
And Bill's another man who's done more for the young people in this town to keep them constructive and an asset to the community. What Muscles needs can't be administered by the law. He needs to be placed under Bill's supervision by the court. Muscles and his 2 cronies. I'm getting too old to handle lads like they are, but, well, Bill can do it. I strongly urge that the judge do so.
Well, it's worked before. I don't see why it shouldn't work now. What do you say, Bill? Would you accept?
Yes, I'd be pleased to accept, Judge.
I know you've done a lot of fine work with teenagers, Bill, but I think this time you'll have your hands full. In fact, I think the only place for those 3 is behind bars and 10 hours a day on a rock pile. That'll take the starch out of their ambition.
Perhaps, Cal, but it'll also make them bitter and hardened criminals.
Well, you have a point there. But some men are born to be criminals.
Not in God's sight. They're not born to be criminals. They're born in sin. That's what makes them criminals. They can change if they let Jesus Christ take over their lives.
Bill, pick the lads up and have them in my chambers first thing in the morning. I think talking to them in my chambers will make a little stronger impression than talking to them at home or elsewhere.
You're right, Judge White. They've got to realize that the strong arm of the law is aware of their foul behavior.
Hey, man, what's with you? There was a big meeting at the hospital in Connor's room.
Yeah, so?
Hey, man, it was the cops and Judge White.
So what?
The meeting was about us, man.
Us?
Yeah. We're in trouble.
Hey, man, I'll say we are. Here comes Johnny Heat Jefferson now.
Well, I'm going to blow this joint.
You ain't going nowhere. We'll take care of that cop.
Hey, man, you and whose army? He's no pushover.
There he is.
Close your trap. I'll take care of him. I'm tougher than he is. Tougher than anybody. Tell him to come in, Mick. I'll be right behind the door.
Come in.
Hello, boys. Where's Muscles?
He cut out, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir. He's been gone a long time.
Well, then, let's open the door all the way. Come on out from behind the door, Muscles.
You dirty cop. You ain't taking me in.
Look, Mickey. He's out cold.
Hey, man.
Don't get excited, fellas. I'm here to talk to you, not fight. Muscles will be all right in a few minutes. He isn't hurt. Just had the wind knocked out of him. Now let's sit down and relax until Muscles regains his breath.
All right, cop. What do you want?
Judge White wants to have a talk with you fellas in the morning.
Yeah? What's he want to talk about?
I'm sure you know, Mickey.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's he going to do to us? Throw us in a pen?
That depends on you fellas. I just want to warn you not to leave town.
Yeah? What do we cut out of here?
It'll be a simple matter to bring you back, Muscles. Very simple.
Big talk. Big talk.
Yeah, maybe we better listen, huh?
All right. We'll be here in the morning.
All right, I'll stop by at 9 o'clock to pick you up, all three of them. I think you're wasting your time on those correctors, young feller.
I agree, in way.
What's that mean?
I think Spoon and Mickey not too bad. They under influence of Muscles. Take Muscles away and other boys be all right.
Nope, I can't agree to that, Grey Wolf. Not this time. This time one bad apple's ruined the others beyond saving.
How about the gospel, old-timer? The Lord can change them.
Yeah, there's some folks who just won't hear the gospel, sonny, and these three are some of those folks. How are you going to get Muscles to listen to the gospel? Tell me that, will you?
I don't know. It's a lead pipe cinch. An ordinary approach won't work.
We're not going to use an ordinary approach this time, pal.
Hey, Bill's cooking up something. What is it?
I'm not through cooking yet, pal. I'm going to Central City to talk to Muscles' parents. I'll be back late.
Okay. Say, who's going to watch the house so they don't leave town?
No one. That's one thing they must do.
Leave town?
Mm-hmm. I'll see you in the morning, fellas. Henry, Grey Wolf, and Stumpy stood looking after me with a dumbfounded look on their faces. I knew they didn't agree at the moment with what I had in mind, but I had work to do before morning, and there wasn't much time to do it. I hoped that Muscle, Spoon, and Mickey would hightail it out of town pronto and fast.
How far do you think we can get before morning, Muscles?
Plenty far. Stop worrying and keep walking.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we ain't got no gun for protection, you know.
We don't need guns.
Hey, I never thought about that. Hey, what if we run into a mountain lion? Or a bear?
Yeah, man, what if, yeah? What if?
You guys worry too much. Let's get moving, far away. Those dumb rangers ain't never gonna find us.
Well, here's Bill.
Looks like a reception committee. What's up? You ought to know, young feller. You let them fly the coop. They did, huh? That's fine.
Bill, have you lost your senses?
No, Judge, I haven't.
It sure sounds like it. You've pulled off a lot of wild ones, Bill, and I've been in on most of them, and they've worked. But this time you've gone too far, letting young toughs like that roam the country.
I agree with the sheriff.
Whoa, take it easy. Let's not get excited. Unless I miss my guess, they're headed for the mountains right now. Yeah, they could get killed out there, young feller. They won't get far enough to be in the danger zone before we catch up with them.
Huh? We're going to trail them?
Certainly. We're going to trail them and protect them.
Well, I feel differently about this now that you've opened up the secret drawer of your mind. In fact, I think I get a glimmer of what you're up to.
Yeah, Judge, so do I. Bill's going to let those youngsters find out just how tough they really are. That's right, old-timer.
I hope it works, Bill.
You haven't changed your mind, have you, Judge?
No. But if this doesn't work, I'm afraid I'll have to rule Muscles incorrigible and send him to the penitentiary. I see a sign where tough guys begin to tire out.
Already? Why, I'm just getting the old muscles warmed up, and we're doing double time. Yeah, sure enough, they're lagging a bit here and there, all right. I expected that. Henry, do you think you're up to the double-time pace?
Sure. I'm fine. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
You sure? How about your ribs?
Well, they hurt once in a while. It's worth the pain to see my revenge.
Huh? What kind of talk is that for a Christian? If there's any revenge to be taken, we'll let the Lord do that. His wisdom is greater than ours. You know?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean real revenge. You know, the hateful kind. But, boy, I do want to see Muscles apologize to Mary Lou.
Yeah, so do I. But of his own free will, pal. Well, let's push along now. We can't leave those young fellas unprotected come dusk.
Man, I've had it. That's no joke.
Hey, man, me too. How about you, big man?
Not me. I guess I'm tougher than you guys, huh?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, and how about getting some wood so we can make a fire, big man?
You want me to go out there now, when it's getting dark?
You're real tough, aren't you? You're just as scared as we are, only you're not a big enough man to admit it.
Hey, man, I'm hungry and cold and thirsty, too. Anybody got some water?
Muscle's supposed to have the canteen.
It's empty.
Great. No water. What's a big idea?
You drank as much as I did. We'll find some in the morning.
Sure, big man. It might be bad water, too, and poisonous.
Yeah. How are we supposed to know good water from bad out here? No food. Hey, Mick. How many matches you got left?
None.
I might have told you. We're real tough guys, all right. Real tough. We'll probably die out here. And everybody will be real happy about it.
No, we ain't gonna die. We can't die.
Hey, Spoon. You got him sized up right. He ain't no tough guy. He's a big fat coward, ain't you, big man?
He sure is. I let him shiver by himself. What a couple of saps we were to let him get us into trouble. Tough guy. Huh.
Hey, there they are. Why, no fire? No food or water? No nothing.
Oh, they in bad way, all right.
What are you going to do now, Sonny? We'll go in and make camp. One night out is enough for them, where they're not equipped. They'll get sick without proper care a second night. Stumpy.
Yep. It's running around under your scalp now, Sonny.
You stay out here and give them the royal treatment.
The royal treatment, you said?
That's what I said.
That's what they'll get.
Oh, you fellas have enough to eat now?
Yeah, you better believe it, Grey Wolf. Boy, do I feel a lot better since you guys showed up.
Yeah, man, me too. I don't know what we'd have done if you hadn't shown. It's colder out here tonight than it was last night.
Sure, you're on higher ground. Well, let's hit the hay, fellas.
Yeah, that's for me. Good night. I'm plenty tired, too.
Before we drop off to sleep, let's have devotions.
Devotions? What's devotions, Bill?
Read from the Bible, pray.
Yeah? What's it sound like?
Listen, to find out. Open my testament here to John 3. Here we are. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believed on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we thank thee for the Lord Jesus and for the life that we have in him. We ask that thou wilt keep us throughout this night, give us a good rest, and help us tomorrow to do our work as unto thee. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, fellas, that's what it sounds like. Muscles, you haven't said a word since we got here.
That's a tough guy. Sure. Real tough. Good night.
What are you doing, Grey Wolf?
Fire get low and put more wood on.
What's that?
Cougar. He come close to camp.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
Not shoot what cannot see. Not foolish. I build up fire. He stay away. You go to sleep now.
Grey Wolf, fire's low. I'll put more wood on.
You do that.
What's that?
A grizzly bear.
Shoot! Shoot it!
You build up fire. He not bother us.
I'll get the wood, Muscles.
Good.
How come you haven't slept?
How'd you know that?
We learn to sleep with one eye and one ear open out here, Muscles.
The wolf's going to attack. Shoot. Get your rifle and shoot it.
I'll build the fire up. That's safer. I can't see the wolf anyhow to shoot it.
I gotta talk to you, Bill. I gotta.
Just a minute. Okay, Stumpy. Come on in, hit the hay. You've earned it.
Stumpy? Was he making all those animal sounds?
Yeah, sure was, Mr. Tough Guy. You can stop shaking now. There ain't a wolf, bear, or cougar within a day's ride from here. Oh, maybe a black bear, but no grizzly. Tough critters hang out in the tough country. I don't like to be harsh on you, boy, but you asked for it, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Now you wanted to talk to me?
Yeah. You asked me why I didn't say anything before. I was thinking things over, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I know you fellas had to double time it after us to catch up, unless you used horses.
We walk, Sonny, every inch from town.
That takes conditioning. You guys have to be tough to do that, not even breathe hard. I'm not tough. Not really tough the way it counts. Sure, I can beat up old men and guys like Henry when there's 3 against 1, and insult ladies. I'm not proud of that, really. I'm not tough at all. Not like you guys.
Muscles, excuse me, Jim, you've got one chance to prove how tough you are in the right way. The only way. You can prove how much backbone you've got.
How can I do that?
Make a public apology to those you've offended and hurt in front of Judge White.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
The question is, do you really want to?
Sure I do. I really do, I think. But I couldn't.
You leave the couldn't part up to me. Now you get some sleep. It's a long walk back to town. There aren't any horses hidden along the trail, you know.
I'll say there ain't. You'll have to walk the whole distance on the bottom of your own feet, Sonny. Yes, sirree. At least your feet'll be tough after this hike.
Jim, I understand from Bill that there's something you wish to say in front of me.
Well,
Oh, relax now, son. This isn't a courtroom trial, you know. You're among friends, believe me. If you only knew how many friends you have in this chamber right now, you'd be amazed.
Yes, sir.
Jim, remember what we talked about walking back to town?
Yes, Bill, I do.
Dear Lord, Jim needs your help so terribly right now. Please help him.
Please, Lord, help Jim. Give him strength.
Mary Lou?
Yes, Jim?
I want you to accept my apologies for the way I acted. About the shoes and all.
I accept, Jim. Gladly.
Henry?
Yes, Jim?
I ask you to please accept my apologies for the beating we gave you.
I accept it, Jim. And I forgive.
Mr. Connors?
Yes?
I don't know how you can forgive me for beating you and threatening you. But even if you don't, I apologize and ask your forgiveness. I'm really sorry.
Jim, it was worth the beating, just to see the change in you. Worth every pain of it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's all I have to say, Your Honor.
Spoon and Mickey also apologized for their parts in the whole thing, and they changed for the better. If you're wondering what Jim and I talked about coming back to town, it was the verse where Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. Jim did accept the Lord on that return trip, has now become a tough guy for the Lord. Tough in the respect that he's not afraid to stand up for Jesus. Well, see you next week for more adventure with
Ranger!